Okay.
What's up, guys, and welcome to Tnashi's Movie Corner. So, out of all the movies that I had yet to see and review from last year, this was not up on the list, but it just happened to be the one that I decided to watch next, because what the hell. Anyway, The Visit, directed and written by M. Night Shyamalan. Big fan of his. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he has done some movies that I liked. Not recent ones, but he's done some movies that I liked. And I'd heard mildly good things about this. I mean, it could be worse. So I thought, well, what the hell? I'll give it a shot. And I gotta say, one of this does bring a scary element to horror. Creepy old people. There are some creepy ass old people in this movie, especially the grandmother. Creepy as hell. So you know, at the very least, it had that going for it, right? Anyway, you have these two grandkids that are sent off by their mother to go visit their grandparents because there was a breaking in the family, a split apart, to where, you know, the mother wasn't really talking to the grandparents anymore, and in order to kind of open up and rekindle that relationship, she sends her grandkids over there. And then you have one of the grandkids, Becca, who is recording all of it, and it's, you know, basically a found footage type of film. And I'm also not a huge fan of the found footage, but I gotta say, it worked a lot better here. There's times where it doesn't work. There's a few scenes where it doesn't work very well, but I think overall it actually worked a lot better than I thought it would. And the reason they give, you know, talking about Becca wanting to be a filmmaker, and that's why she's doing it and everything, and some of the more personal reasons that are revealed later on, I think that actually works pretty well. So I got to give them props for doing that, and for such a cheap budget, you know, to obviously going with this kind of route. It made a lot of sense. So up front, I think the acting is actually really solid throughout the entire cast here. The only one I wasn't on board with was the other grandkid, Tyler, because he does a lot of rapping, and sometimes it does come across funny, but there are moments where it kind of interjects into something that's supposed to be kind of tense and more horror-esque, and it just kind of ruins that atmosphere altogether. So I don't know if that was really intentional or not, but it did come across that way. But, you know, it is kind of a slow build movie. There are moments. There's not really any scares to it. You know, there is times you start noticing about these grandparents around 9:30. Their grandmother goes to crazy town and just, yeah, it starts doing a whole bunch of crazy shit for whatever reason. And so we have these kids that are they're seeing that this is happening. They're trying to figure out what's going on. I like the excuse that gets brought up several times. It's because they're old. Like, that is legitimately the excuse that people give on a day-to-day basis for any time old people do anything. It's like, oh, well, dude, that old guy just slapped your lady's ass. Oh, it's okay. He's just an old guy. It's okay. Dude, that guy's doing cocaine. It's okay. He's an old person. Dude, did you see that guy ramp that truck off the building and crash into those other cars? Those poor... And it's okay. It's okay. It's just old people. Like, at what point do we excuse that? And I kind of like that it was brought up in here, because it's kind of like a reflection of society in that regard, a kind of a parody of it, and I don't know, I found that entertaining. But yeah, not too much. Near the end of the film, of course, it's really shit starts hitting the face, and, you know, stuff is happening, and it really builds up on the creepy moments and everything. It was all right. Like the entire like the acting, I got to give it to it. The acting's good visually. It looks fine. Like I can tolerate it. It makes more sense than some of the other movies. There's no music to build it. There's some sort of jump scares to it, but you know, there's always going to be some jump scares. It's not really a scary movie, and in a regard, it kind of tonally flips back and forth, so it doesn't really work as well for me. There's just nothing to really grasp me to this movie. So while I don't hate this movie, there's just nothing to really get me invested in it. And giving it a 1 through 10 rating, I'm just going to give it a straight 5 out of 10. I'm probably not going to see it again, but it wasn't the worst experience I had. But anyway, yeah, that'll about wrap this up for this review. Hopefully you enjoy this. Click that like button, share, subscribe to my channel, and watch my other videos. I know a ton of y'all have been watching my videos lately. Let's see, Everest here is 7. Okay, well, what about Batman 8? Okay, well, what about the movie 9? Okay. Well, hopefully more of y'all watch this, and hopefully you watch my other videos. Thanks so much, and until next time, peace.